Hi there, and welcome to She Spice. In the breathtaking domain of Hollywood, where stars rise and fall like shooting comets, Sidney Pitier remained a transcending figure among dark entertainers. His exploring heritage, made ready for endless, hopeful gifts filling the grape plant, proposes that Oprah Winfrey may be one of them. So what precisely was happening originally? We should discuss how Sidney has been a motivation to numerous Denzel Washington's ardent recognition for Sidney Pitier at the AFI Life Accomplishment Grants in 1992, which represents the significant effect Pitier had on hopeful entertainers, especially inside the African American people group. Washington's memory of his most memorable experience with Pitier delineates the significant adoration and regard he held for the amazing entertainer. He pivoted and said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm Denzel Washington." "You don't know me." "I haven't done everything except, He was extremely kind to me. What hangs out in Washington's recognition is the accentuation on Pitier's ability to offer direction and support without expecting anything consequently. Not at all like a few Hollywood elites who could utilize their status to keep up with selectiveness or to propagate a feeling of progressive system. Pitier drew closer, tutoring with liberality and lowliness. I did what any companion would do or any entertainer would do. I took out my image and continued asking for a task. He didn't give me a task. Truth be told, Sidney, you've never given me a task. However, he accomplished something significantly more significant. He offered me his time and his guidance. And I can sincerely say that the explanation I'm giving here today is a result of Sidney Carouser. Washington's notice of Pitier not extending to him an employment opportunity, but rather giving him priceless time and exhortation features Doc's obligation to cultivate ability and set out open doors without the assumption of individual increased Worf's activities show a takeoff from the normal gatekeeping conduct seen in numerous enterprises, remembering Hollywood, where admittance to open doors frequently pivots for special interactions or favors owed by recognizing Doc's part in his own prosperity. And offering thanks for the direction and model gave Washington highlights Pitier's obligation to elevate others in the business, especially African American entertainers endeavoring to conquer hindrances and generalizations, as opposed to the people who could store open doors or keep exhortations for keeping up with their own status. Quad's heritage is one of receptiveness, liberality, and authentic help for those emulating his example. His eagerness to share his time, shrewdness, and encounters mirror a feeling of inclusivity and a craving to see others succeed, making him a genuinely remarkable figure in Hollywood history. Anyway, word on the grapevine recommends that different elites who were near Sidney, for example, Oprah and Quincy Jones, could have attempted to ruin him. Jamie Foxx has been a diversion backbone throughout recent decades, with an Oscar and a Grammy added to his repertoire as well as a top-rated journal. However, in a new meeting with Access Hollywood, Scott Evans Fox uncovered that his profession practically went in a new direction until Oprah Winfrey stepped in to offer him some guidance in 2005. Fox was enjoying some real success from the basic praise he collected for his execution as Beam Charles in the melodic biopic. Beam had a job for which he would ultimately win the Foundation grant for Best Entertainer. Yet his celebration had transformed into a relentless celebration. Winfrey considered this and hit him up out of nowhere, saying, "You're blowing it." Fox reviews, "Since we were barely out hanging, we weren't taking the second. Truly," she said, "I need to take you someplace so you can comprehend the meaning of what you're doing." Winfrey took Fox to the home of record maker Quincy Jones, where an extemporaneous mediation had been set up, doing an uncanny pantomime of Jones. Fox was informed, "You've worked really hard on Beam. However, you've given all the other things up now that you've got to lock in the child." Quincy calling Jamie child is something that many fans saw as very frightening, and I'll let you know why. If you have even a smidgen of interest in Hollywood, you should know Quincy Jones. He is an unbelievable maker, performer, musician, etc. And consequently, he has likewise given the title of the Dark Guardian of the business. Quincy Jones has delivered a noteworthy rundown of outstanding craftsmen during his profession, including Plains Sinatra, Aretha Franklin, Rufus, Chaka Khan, and the most popular Michael Jackson. However, this isn't the main explanation. He's been raising a ruckus around town for a really long time. Has forever been a subject of perfect buzz on the web. Let me let you know something that implies Quincy's gay. Quincy may be on and allowed me to explain to you why I think it has forever been estimated that Quincy Jones constrained men into gay connections in return for making them popular and huge in Hollywood in any case. Fox then uncovered that Sidney Pitier was likewise among them, saying, "Operation, all right, you need to meet who you expected to meet here." I said, "Better believe it. He's not too far off." And it was Sidney Pitier. Doc then, at that point, proceeded to address Fox, saying he said, "I need to give you one thing. I need to give you an obligation. When I saw your exhibition, it made me develop a lot of what really had a significant effect on Fox, which was the way that it was Sidney Doc's birthday, so I separated everyone and put me down. It was truly Sidney Pitier's birthday. Wow, they caused me to comprehend the meaning of it regardless, notwithstanding having him blended in with such bizarre dealings. Oprah Winfrey has consistently guaranteed to be motivated by Worf's inheritance during 2021 Dark History Month. Winfrey opened up to Kevin Frazier about Doc's inheritance and the way in which he laid the basis for herself and numerous others inside the business. When I tell you significantly, I could begin sobbing right now. I was significantly, profoundly, earnestly moved by that second Winfrey express. Thinking back on Worf's noteworthy Oscar win for Lies of the Field at the time the future moderator was just 10 years of age, we were being called minorities individuals at that point. And I had never set. And a shaded man seemed to be that or present like that. And I recently supposed if he would do that, I can't help thinking about what I could do. She added, and on the grounds that he did that I had the option to do what I have had the option to do on the planet, and each and every other individual of color who followed it just happened on the grounds that he was capable to do that, as well as to be that it's what he addressed his respect, uprightness, presence, effortlessness, feeling of honor, decision of characters just doing and picking jobs that plan to mirror the best of what an individual of color could be on the planet, thinking back on his filmography and what Potter accomplished as an entertainer. Particularly during the Common Isle Freedoms development, Winfrey brings up that underneath the outer layer of all of his work fundamental. The entirety of his work was the weep for the request for the pursuing racial equity on the planet, such that he had the option to acculturate individuals of color, she added. And that was his expectation, and his objective, which Pitier Winfrey noted was the individual who opened the entryway for individuals of color in Hollywood and on screen from film to television. His very being and presence on the planet as an entertainer, as well as a dad, and as an individual, have laid the foundation for individuals like me, and ages to come that will profit from his work. She said there would be no Kevin Frazier sitting up on diversion. This evening, without a Sidney Pitier, were essential for the chain, yet he was the primary connection. Winfrey knew Pierre for a long time, which transformed into week after week calls. She begat Sundays with Sidney. She told E.T. it was one of the best delights in her day-to-day existence, particularly for the 10-year-old rendition of herself. I got to meet him as well as got to know him so that he upgraded my life, she spouted. So I mean, love him, simply love him now. Many can't resist the urge to contemplate whether Pitier was Oprah's guide. Why did she not copy his thoughtfulness and receptiveness to setting out open doors and opening ways to other up-and-coming dark entertainers, assuming anything Oprah has been doing the precise inverse of Pitier? You see, just as of late, Monique worked up the water once more and requested an expression of remorse from Oprah for supposedly repudiating her for Oprah. Winfrey, you owe me a conciliatory sentiment, and afterward we have Tara G.P. Henson, who nearly left an Oprah-created film since she was being come up short on, and you got to arrange and battle to the nail to get what you made the last time. When Where's My Raise? I haven't seen a raise in that frame of mind since Pleased Mary regardless. Notwithstanding being encircled by disputable Hollywood figures, Sidney Doc carried on with an unbelievable life. Worf was brought into the world in Miami on February 20, 1927. His folks Evelyn and Reginald Worf were from Feline Island in the Bahamas. They were just visiting Florida to sell. In the middle of Reginald's occupation as a taxi driver, Pitier was really conceived 2 months untimely and was slight to the point that his folks remained in Miami for an additional 3 months to ensure that their child would endure. Quater got back to Miami when he was 15 years of age. A sibling of his had moved there in advance, raising a huge family. Pitier remained with them until he was 16, when he moved to New York City, as opposed to what some had expected. Worf's name doesn't begin in Haiti. It was initially acquainted with Britain during the Norman triumph. The name was brought to Feline Island by Charles Leonard, an English manor proprietor who cruised to Feline. Subscribe She Spice for more videos.